Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Kizomba podcast. We have a very special guest today. Her name is Anaïs Millon. Millon? Did I say it right? Okay.
Thank you.
I'm learning French. My Portuguese and Spanish is always been good, but my French is still like. So yeah, I'm struggling a bit. So maybe you can say it properly. I always like guests to say their name the way you say it, so everyone can hear.
Anaïs Millon.
Anaïs Millon. Okay, good. I think I'm getting better. So welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. It's been a while. It's been a few years I saw you.
Yeah, long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a few times we danced, not many times. I remember in Riga, we had a few dances. And I remember when I met you, I was a bit shy. I was like, wow, can I invite her to dance? And then I did, and then I came to. So yeah, it's really nice. So, yeah, I always like to start the show with the beginning, and that means the beginning of your life. So I would like to ask you, where were you born?
I'm born in France, in a small town, not like super small, but not super big. Yeah, in Normandy. I don't know if you know Normandy, but
yes.
We have very good cheese.
Good. If you feel open, when were you born? The year?
82.
Ah, like me. Nice.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
And that's the best one, huh?
It's like wine, the best year, you know?
Yeah, you feel the... Yeah, 82.
82, nice. And how would you describe your childhood?
Was hard. It was good for some things, but it was also hard. I had like things with the family not easy to deal, but I'm here, so it's good.
Okay. So what was your favorite thing to do as a child?
I was gymnast. That was my thing. The only thing was counting is what going to the gym and do competition and everything, and that was my thing. Yeah.
Is it rhythmical gymnastics or
no?
gymnastic?
How do you say, like acrobatic, or I don't know
Okay.
how you say that. Yeah.
And which area was your like specialty?
I was good on the floor.
Oh, on the floor.
And the jump.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was not very good in the two others, and I break my arm, so I had to choose. I choose the leg, to the power for the floor and the things. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I love gymnastics. I do capoeira, so gymnastics is like very close to me. But yeah, it's always beautiful to see, especially young children. They look like they don't have fear when they do all these things. I don't know how is it for you, but yeah, you look fearless when you do gymnastics as a child.
I think you have like fear for some things, but there is also the thing you don't have. So it builds step by step, I think.
Nice. I feel today I'd like to jump with you into specific topics, which we're going to get. But before that, I'm always curious about the dancing part. And I know in France, dance is a big part of the culture. So there's, I'm always inspired by the French dances in hip hop and many other styles. So when was the first time you encountered like dancing and started to dance for you?
I was very young, but it was really like a shop meeting. My mom, she was like a dance teacher. She teach like modern jazz and classical. And of course, she wanted her daughter go to dance. So she bring us, my sister and I, to classic class. But that was for me like shit in this time. You see, like, no, I didn't like it. So it was just a touch. So I don't know how old I was. Maybe I was like 6 or 7. I don't know. And then after, because of the gymnastic, I had like high-level programs. So it's like you have 30 hours per week. You just go to school the morning and then you have to practice. And we had a choreographer, and that's a real meeting with the dance and everything. But it was really short. It wasn't a lot. And then after that, my sister, she was a salsa dancer. So she traveled everywhere and everything. So the only way I had to see her was to go to see her in dance. So that was really the meeting with dance for me, I think. Yeah, the real one.
Well, that sounds a bit like Sophie. Sophie also had this story of her sister was dancing salsa, then she took her, very similar stories.
Maybe, yeah.
Nice, nice. And when was your first encounter with Kizomba?
The first, it was, I don't remember the years, but I didn't dance Kizomba. I was dancing Zouk, and it was with, I don't know if you know Iñaki.
Yes.
Yeah, Iñaki, he was in Paris with Leon Rose and my sister Noemi. And the Kizomba entered, but for me it was Zouk. I didn't know hear Kizomba. And he said, "Oh, would you dance with me?" And I say, "Yes, of course." And he started to dance something strange. That wasn't Zouk, of course. So I said, "No, but we don't dance Zouk like that." And he said, "No, but this is not Zouk." And he said, "Well, but I didn't remember he said Kizomba, but he said something." And I tried to dance with him, and that was catastrophic. And then I think 1 year or 2 years goes, and after that, my sister and Leon, they organized the first Kizomba party in Paris with the way you have 1 or 2 hours class and then you dance like they have in salsa. And because I wanted to see my sister, I was here to help her in the party and everything. And that's the really time I meet Kizomba and I understand that, this is something different. But before that was Iñaki, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Nice. I didn't know that. So for me, as much as I learned Zouk when I was younger, like Zouk Low, and I know the origins of Zouk, especially because of your family background, Guadeloupe, Martinique. So what is the difference for you between Zouk dance and Kizomba dance? Because there's a lot of similarities for me. So I'm sure. How was it for you?
It's totally different. The dance is totally different. The way you move your hips is not the same. The way you take the music, it's not the same. You never open, you are always closed in Zouk. So you can turn and do things, but you never get the opening like we have, for example, in Kizomba or Urban or things. So for me, it's so different, so different. And we have many ways to dance Zouk, it's like our generation. When I was younger and I was going to Martinique for holidays, we had like a position, they call us the chair. So you are like sitting on a chair and then you just move your hips. So your leg gets super strong and everything. But that's my generation. The generation after, they dance differently, and the generation before, they dance also different. So.
Nice. And do you like more Zouk or Kizomba?
I'm sorry, Zouk. Not for the same reason. No, I like both, but not for the same reason. When I listening Zouk, for example, in my house, I never listen Kizomba. I can listen Zouk a lot because it touched me like differently. It's a lot of also memories and things like that. So it's not the same. I can explain. It's different.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so you mentioned that your sister organized the first Kizomba party in France, yes? Or in Paris, I didn't hear.
Yeah, in Paris, yeah.
In Paris. So which year do you remember maybe, or more or less?
It was 2009.
2009.
Yeah. I think they start in summer, and me, I start in November, something like that.
So the Kizomba in France back then, how was it? I'm curious because now we have a different bit, of course, situation. There's so much more options, but how was it Kizomba back then in France?
It was very small, so it wasn't a lot of people. It was like very famous to do like lift and slide the girls and and everything, and it was more like fun community. It was social dancing, but like more to have fun. You come, and it was nice. It was, I think, a nice period. Yeah. That was like this. You chill with people. When the party is over, you go to dance outside. No, that was cool. But I wasn't really like inside the Paris world of Kizomba, you know, because I wasn't living in Paris in this time. So I had to drive like 1.5 hours to come to Paris. So I was just coming to help my sister in her party, but she was the first. And then after it has been some other party, but I wasn't really in that party. I was outside of all of that. I was just coming to work, dance a little bit and everything. And then after Africa Dancer is coming. So, but I was always outside.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did you then from that move to teaching? How did it begin for you?
We did Africa Dancer with Morena So, and it was like the year of the explosion. I think we all had so different style that many people start to feel in that. So when we finished this competition, we start to have like a request from salsa school from Paris. So we work on classes and we start to teach like that. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
And for example, for the my how can I say? I was good in teaching because my work in that period, I was working with teenagers who had social problems, and I was teaching them how to paint or express themselves or things like that. And also when I was like, I think it was 15, because of the gymnastic, we had to start to train, like the smaller and everything. So it was part of the program. So I had like, it was a kind of habit for me to teach. Yeah.
Nice. And you love it?
Yeah, I love it. A lot.
Yeah, I feel we're slowly getting to the part that I really wanted to talk to. So as you say, you love to teach, and there's this part of being a teacher in the city where we live, for example. So there's a local school and there's a regular class, and there's this other aspect of teaching, which is traveling to festivals.
Yeah.
And teaching, for me at least, in festivals and classes is very different.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unfortunately sometimes I wish I had more time with the people on the festival, just to connect more, just to put a little bit more, just time and work into it. And I know you've been traveling for many years with Morenasu first, and et cetera, et cetera. So I saw a few days ago a post that you made that maybe you can share a bit more, but I saw that you feel specific things that are happening in the Kizomba scene that maybe you don't agree on, or maybe just your perspective on that. So I wanted to ask you better face to face, maybe to share a bit more about what happened or what's happening in you on this topic.
Okay, so first you talk about teaching. And it's very true that teaching is very different in a festival than in your school, for example. I have my school now since 4 years, and it's very different. And the thing is that I think it's something not new, because I think it's a human problem, you know. But the thing is that the festivals, the way you teach in festival, it's like super exciting because you have many people, it's something new and everything. But the reality is that for me, how I feel, you don't really share with people. It's more about like, I don't know, it's like you go to buy something and they give you first the things and you come back with the thing. You can share some point of the technique and some a bit what you are, but there is so many people that most of them, they are more coming to consummate what you can give them, you know. So that's the point. And also it's like, okay, I go to consummate this teacher and then I jump fast to another class to consummate another teacher, and then so it's not like, even for us, we don't really know how these people evolve in their dance. We give them things and we don't know if they evolve. And this is what I miss with the festival. And I find in my school is that I have the same students for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe less, but you can see them grow up in dance, but really you give them really something. That's the way I feel, but it's very personal. It's not like, I think If you ask me that 5 or 7 years ago when I was starting, I was so excited by everything. So you don't see that. You don't see that. And yeah, and there is many things happen in this Kizomba world. And I'm not talking about urban keys or this style. Or it's, for me, it's this part of the dance evolution is just normal. Because if it wasn't have like evolution before, Kizomba will not exist. So what we like today is that some people invent Kizomba or bring things in other dance or other music to build the Kizomba, and we're happy with that. So why people cannot just do the same and be happy with something else? So that's my point. So this is really not about the style of dance and music, and also because for me, art is to express who you are. So if you are not Kizomba, you can express who you are with something else, you know? And the point is more about the system, how it works. So people, when you're not inside, it's like every system. If you are not inside in the system, you can't see what's happened. And even if you are in the system, and you can be in denial. And I was. You see? Yeah. So there is many things was here before me, before my generation, with the first generation. They had the same problem with what we have now. And I think it's more about a human problem, as I said, but not really like an industry problem.
Can you be, just because, okay, you and me, we spoke a little bit about it before the podcast set it up, but can you be maybe a little bit more specific if you feel like it, just so people can understand? Because for me, it's easy. Okay, I understand. I go to a festival. Like you said, inside, we know what's happening behind the scenes. Nothing is perfect in life, also, not even the festivals. So there are always pluses and minuses, but maybe you can be a bit more specific. What do you feel for you was in the system that you maybe didn't or liked or didn't like?
Yeah, there is many things. There is many good things, but there is also bad things. But we're going to talk about the bad things. That's why I quit or leave this part of the Kizomba world. Yes. Because I'm continue with Kizomba, but this is just this part. It's like, how can I say? It's a big business, you know, and no one wants to lose his part of the business. And if you come with something new or new idea, or maybe just if you start to be like, I cannot say better because it's not the good word. I don't know how to say in English, but you can be like Anais. How you say it? You know the Anais, how you say? You can be like dangerous. Okay. Sorry, my English.
No, your English is really good. Don't worry.
You can be like dangerous for the system who still work.
Okay.
And for the people who keep this system working. Yeah, but this is a society problem. But in Kizomba, because it's a small thing, maybe you feel it more. So you have people who control the way the things happen, and they don't want you to touch that because they feel comfortable with that. They feel comfortable because they don't have to work a lot, and because most of the Kizomba dancer, they don't practice a lot. I have like many people around me who is artistic people from other stage, like even salsa or hip hop, and they train. That's what we don't do in Kizomba. Most of the time, we create a show in 2 weeks, 1 week, and we just practice 1 year during the show, you know? So it's true, and we did it. I did it, so I can say that it's true. And so you have this, so they feel comfortable with that, and you have also the money. Why you want me to share all this money with other people? I need this money. Maybe I'm scared because this is my only job, and if I don't get the business of that, I will be with nothing. So there is many excuses to act like that, but this is the reality. And you have also the, how can I say, the ego, the fame, to say it's like nourishing you to be like famous, and you don't want to share that with people because you are scared to be rejected, or that people stop looking at you and look at someone else and everything. So it's a lot of manipulation to keep this like this. And if you start like to have like a big mouth, or if you are starting to be maybe too good, they're gonna help to put you down. You know?
When you share all this, I mean, I understand also your perspective, but also I from what I got is that you also experienced all this. It's not just that you're sharing this, but you also experienced this, and this is one of the reasons you feel you don't want to be maybe part of the international traveling scene anymore. This is what I got from all this.
Yeah, it's like, of course, I experienced this, and I saw that before, but I didn't see that it was really that at this moment. Mm-hmm. For me, it was like, it wasn't that. I told you I was in denial. So for me, it was, it was working like that, and it's okay. But I always try to, for example, to fight for the place of the girl or things like that, you know. But there is a point, even if I continue to do it, if you continue to be in that system, it's like at the end, you accept the system. You know, so before, when we had like a festival asking you to work with them, we didn't like, for myself, we didn't like look at a lot the things. If you get my price, it's okay. Okay, if it's a good event, it's okay, and everything. But what is a good event? Most of the events in the reality, the way they can treat girls, for example, because it's important for me, the way they treat girls, if they treat bad, for example, another dancer, or they don't like, how can I say, respect the work of another girl dancer. If I'm going to work there, it's like I contribute to that because I continue to make this system working.
But don't you feel there is a way, at least now I'm going to speak at least from my experience, there is a way that you enter or be a part of the scene and still stand your ground, and you know, you have your price, you have your rules or the way you want to be treated, because there is a system, but I feel also, at least for me, not every festival is the same, not every organizer is the same, not every dance partner is the same also. So don't you feel there is a way to still be in the scene for you, maybe, but in your own way?
Yeah, of course. That's why I said in my post that I live the Kizomba world how it is now. But I don't live Kizomba. You know, and there is, I think, some events who are in that way. I know, but most of them they are not. Most of them now, this is more about like, this is more about the business first. This is also outside of the value, the human value. For myself, what I think is the value. It's not the verity, but this is mine. Yeah. And the way I can see that, you know, there is things like dirty things, very, very dirty things happen in your event, but you just do like this. You know that some people you booked, they are not good in their mind or the way they treat the other and everything, but you do like this because it's good for your business. You think it's good for your business. So it's like I said to the society, we do choice, but it's like, okay, I do choice. You see, you cannot do that. For me, I cannot not do that all the life. So I prefer lose some business and have it differently. But I'm in a position I can talk like that because I had nothing and I had to breed something else. So now I'm comfortable with my school. So of course it's easier because I'm not scared anymore to be like with no money. You know, so most of the people, they do like choices in the artists, for example, they do choices because they are scared to be with no money, and we can understand that. And most of the students, they complain a lot. I mean, the girl, they just complain a lot. there is like 2 or 3 girls for one guy. I go to a festival and never dance, blah, 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 but you still go to this festival because you expect maybe that this year will be better for you. You know, and this is why this system is like this. This is, for example, for girls, one more time, you go to the classes, you have only a guy who teach to you or a girl who never speak for you, and they just resume your dance to put your leg in front here and move your hips by side, and you think that's it. And you know it's not, but you still continue to support these people. You know? So I don't know. I for myself, I prefer take like choices. How can I say with my value?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand.
That's it.
Yeah, and this topic has crossed my path many times, and also as an organizer, as also being in touch with other organizers, also as a dancer, and of course, no scene is ideal. No, there's always something, you know, and this is part of the, like you say, human existence, to have the good and the bad, and we're trying to juggle with this boat. And but I do feel, in the essence, there are things in the Kizomba scene that are, in my opinion, very deep, and they're very, because of that, very hard to change, because now I feel many big part of the system is created on top of that foundation. And one of them is also, and I have to be very honest, how are the women treated, and the women teachers in their community, and how is also a woman being treated. And we had many situations the last few years when there was, I don't want to name them now fully, but where women were not treated well, and like you said, there was suddenly a blank. You know, people see, wow, how did that happen? And then they close their eyes. And this I also really dislike, but I do know there are many people who are against that, and they really want to change the community in their best way possible. But I do feel sometimes I'm not always sure how to do that. You know, I have ideas, but I'm not always sure how to react to that.
I think we cannot change the community. It's too deep, but we can create another community in that community. Yeah. Now the Kizomba world, how I see that, it's more like a big nightclub where they serve fast food, you know, for everything. But there is also that, for example, in other world dance, I mean, for example, the hip hop, you have like the club, the nightclub, the people go, they don't know anything about hip hop. They just go, they drink, they find guys or girls, they socialize, they do what they want to do. But they dance, yeah, they have the flow and everything, they dance, but yeah, but there is also another world. You have the creation world, for example, the theater, you have the show, like with not like 3-minute show, and it's more like about 1 hour show. It's a deepest art. I don't say it's not good, the 3-minute show. I just said that we can do also different, you know, and you can continue with that and do also different with other things. And you have also the school, you know, the school, the competition, the things like you have, like for sports, you go, for example, you play football, you can play football like playing with your friend on Sunday, but you can also play football differently. You know, for me, it's exactly the same. So it's not stopping this world, because there is people who feel good in this world, and it's okay. You can feel good where you want, but there is also an artistic world that we can build. But for that, we need to have like a artist, for example, who train more, who can watch what they do in the show and say, that was good, that was not good, I have to practice that. So the level will grow up. And also to teach our students not to be like a clone.
Yeah, clone.
Not clown.
Yeah, clone.
Not to be like clone, but to find themselves. You know, because when you start to build clone, the problem is that they completely stick to your attitude because they think this is the attitude they should have. But when you do like this, for me, you just keep a mind with sick. You know, it's like you just one more time do like this with your problem, and you say, okay, I'm me, but this one look like good, I will be him. And the guy or the girls who is like, okay, I want these guys and these girls be like me, so I will feel comfortable and I know that I'm good, you know? I think it's really about like you one more time, you want human problems, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot what you said about to create our own timeline. You know, okay, there is a community, but we can create another community that is also in that space. And this is also what I feel lately, that at least what I'm doing, and I'm having more and more people who think like this around me, which I really like. Yeah, we don't need to change this, but yeah, let's create something that follows the values that we see. And one topic that it keeps on coming back now with you also, and also with other artists, which is how to build a quality in the Kizomba scene, which means training and treating Kizomba like any art form, like ballet, like so taking it more seriously, you know, approaching it in a sense of, hey, we need to deepen the, I don't know, basic step. How much do we work on the basic step before we start moving to Saidas and other things, to really bring value in what I feel is very important also, not just the show, but like depth.
Yeah.
I think the depth of the dance in Kizomba is much deeper than we think, than people maybe think.
Yeah, Kizomba is very, you know, it's sad, but my people, as I said, around me, most of them, they're from hip hop, but they have like the high lineup of hip hop. And when they said, what, I'm dancer, I say, I'm dancer. Okay, what you do? And I'm like, shame to say do Kizomba. Because the people, they just see us like a dirty nightclub. You can have sex every time you want. You just come to hug people and everything. And it's not that. And this dance for me and all the style it creates, it's very, very technique. There is many things. It's technique. It's like sensation, can be like something very deep and very strong. So it's a real hard for me. So it's a shame that I'm ashamed to say that my dance is like a shame. You know, it's not normal. And the thing also is that if we want to build another community, we have to be careful to how we say to people that, oh, you're a star. Oh, I like your step, how you dance, you're a star now. You know, you have to like not prove like you need to prove, but if you want to grow up and attain a certain level, you need to prove how many times you can do and what you can bring to the dance. If you can just bring like one thing like super fast and you just live with that for 10 years, I'm sorry. You just bring something for yourself, not for the community. And also how you, I think it's involve yourself in the community.
Yes.
Yeah, you sure?
Yes, I am.
We continue, and if it's not, you change.
It's good.
So, how you involve in the community, how you make the community grow up. You want the community grow up because you want to keep your fame, or you want to make the community evolve to make it grow up. It's very different. It's very different. So the same position for me for the people who say, no, you don't dance like this, it's not this, it's not this. Why? Why it cannot be different? You know? So yeah, so it's like we need to be careful of what we do. We need to stop to give the keys to someone who you know is not ready, but you do like he's ready because it's good for your school or your business. You know, like for example, you have like now there is like people who take people like a company, and if they contact us, for example, someone contact me and they say, I want you to come in my event, and I say, no, I'm not, but I have this guy who is in my company, and I do money on him, of course, because he's in my company, and I say, take this one. Even if I know that this one is not good, has someone else you can take, it can do the good job. You know, I think we have to go outside of the world business, how it works.
Quality or quantity.
Exactly. And don't touch a lot of people, but maybe touch less people, but people with the same value and the same way to see the art and to see, depend on what you want to show, but respectful of everything, and not just like a, yes, I respect you, my brother. Come on, we know how it works. You respect me, but you kick my back. You know? So no, this part.
Yeah. I understand. Well, yeah, I feel these topics are also very important to speak about, like we do now. You know, it's like, some people speak about it behind the scenes and everything, but I feel it's important to speak out.
Yeah.
Like you did on Facebook, like you spoke what you feel, you put your truth in the world. And of course, someone might connect with it, someone might not, but it's fine. At least it's spoken. And I feel this is important to do, because then with that we can actually then impact someone, make someone think, impact the community, like you said. And this is a big part of, like you said, community. I understand not everyone maybe feels like they're part of community, but I feel everyone can bring something to the table. And we can really affect each other in many, many ways. And this is how I created this Kizomba project. And it's beautiful to see how people unite and connect, putting the community first and quality above numbers or whatever else. And I really like how you think in this way. Nice. So speaking of teaching, what is your favorite topic to teach?
I had create like for my school, I had create like programs, and most of this program is to help the dancer to find their identity in dance, but also help them for their life. I think there is two. I like most of them, but the thing is that now I'm just doing what I like. So it's like I decide to stop what I don't like for only things I like. Yeah. So I like the part for the women, for example, to help them to build, to be more confident with like I had like a personal development exercise in the dance to help them to feel like the good benefit of dancing, but not only for your body but also for your mind. And I have also this program for the advanced dancer. I bring like I make them like I teach them like a technique of step, just a technique, and I make them build a step with that technique and help them to make it grow. And they have also like 1 hour with a hip hop teacher or the dance teacher to help them to, you know, the Kizomba people, they are very focused on Kizomba and they don't watch what there is outside of Kizomba. And this is so big, what you can create with everything you see. It's not just Kizomba. It's like, for example, if you had like a ballet in your dance, in your posture, it changed all the energy and it changed also all the aptitude you have. So I try to bring them directly in their classes for them to, because I know they will not go by themselves. So I help you guys to try something else. Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite programs. But the most I like is more about the show. I have like a team and we do like I create show for them, but they are active in the creation. They create the step. For example, if I have my direction as a choreographer and I want them to express something, we work on that expression. Like really like writing, thinking, feeling, express. And it's not only Kizomba. It's like, it's more like a creation with different, we don't do like all the same step in the same moment and everything. That's it good also to start the choreo, but I'm no more really in that for the moment. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
I think this is my favorite.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We're going to talk more about it offline also. Good, good. Yeah, I feel all these topics are very, very important. And I wanted to also ask you, because we're slowly getting close to the end, but what do you feel Kizomba community, maybe not the word you use need, but what do you feel the Kizomba community nowadays, what would you like to maybe see more of in the community?
I want to see the heart come back, like being less machine and more artist. But I mean, not only for the teacher or the artist, but for all the people. But I think with the new generation, it's starting to come. And I want to see, there is many things I want to see. I want to see like more humanity, and I would love that people start to make introspection and to start to clean their, how you say, wound. Like you hurt and you have like start to work on that, because it's like that you can grow up and make people grow up. You know, it's like, for me, this is really this sharing, and not coming like this is like this, I give you that, but I don't give nothing from myself. It's not fair, I think. So yeah, and I think if people start to do like this, the community will be healthier. So will be safe for everybody, and everybody will have his place or her place. And yeah, and I hope the new community will like you dance in couple, but doesn't mean that the couple see the things exactly the same. And so it will be nice if some people start also to talk with girls. Yeah, and not only to guys. And I don't mind about the business, I mean really about this. Yeah, to understand that we are together, but we are not agree for everything. For example, like a couple, it's like yeah.
I like it a lot. Yeah, and this aspect of self-development or practices that are out of the Kizomba dance practices. I like the idea. This is because, especially because I also do that, bringing other aspects into the dance, because I know maybe they will not go separately to those events. So I bring in these things and really digging deep into ourselves and starting from ourselves, so we can then bring even more beautiful things to the community. I like that a lot. You have my support.
Yay! Good. We can create a new world.
Yes. Utopia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but work on that. I'm gonna work on that.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm happy with you speaking about this, and I feel this will reach many people who, at least start to make them think. You know, this is a start to make them think and see maybe things in a bit different way.
Yeah.
Okay, before we finish, I have something I like to do with everyone, which is it's a quick question and answer.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah. So it means whatever first comes to your mind, just like I say something, you just reply. So 1, 2 words. Yeah.
Okay. Even if it's food or something, I can talk about.
We'll get to that maybe. Let's see. Okay. So first question: what is your favorite word? Word, like to say something.
Conscience.
What is your favorite food?
Moroccan.
I knew that. What excites you in life, or what turns you on?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, what excites you? I don't mean. I mean, in life. Yeah, what in everyday life what excites you? What
equality.
Equality.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, who's your favorite artist? It can be a singer, painter, whatever. Just your favorite artist.
I think I don't have one favorite, but there is a writer I like, who is Neil Donald Walsh.
Oh, nice. Any favorite book?
Conversation with God, Tom 1.
Actually, my father gave me, I think there's 3 books of them, right? The Conversations with God, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So he gave me the 3. I still haven't read them, I have to admit, but yeah, he gave me those books.
So you have to start. The 1 is very good. I don't like the 2 other, but the 1 is like, oh, I love it.
Okay. That's good. What is your favorite curse word?
So again?
What is your favorite curse word, like bad word, like, like...
Putain.
Putain.
Putain is like shit or motherfucker. It's putain.
Yeah. So, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
You mean later?
Also, or maybe like this, I can ask, what is there a profession that you always wanted to do in life but you haven't?
I wanted like to be like a sport teacher at school.
Oh, really?
So it's not so far.
Yeah, I almost made a joke, but I'm not gonna. Okay, and last question. If you were a superhero, what would be your superpower?
Save Africa. Yeah.
Wow. So I will add, sometimes I add one more on top of that. What do you feel is your superpower now in life?
Wow. I don't know. The superpower in life?
Yeah, what is your superpower? Would you feel you?
Oh, mine, you mean?
Yeah, yours.
I think I'm human. Yeah.
That's a beautiful superpower. I wanted to say thank you.
Thanks
to start with. Thank you for finding the time to meet up and also to share your perspectives on life, on dance, and also sharing about where you are now in your life with what you shared, of course, on Facebook, but where you are. And after this conversation, I got to know you more because we never really got too deep into you and me in conversation. But I feel this is a beautiful opportunity to get to know a very beautiful part of you, which I'm happy people will also see. And I also want to thank you for everything that you are doing and that everything you did in the Kizomba community with your trials. I feel I want to honor you for that, for everything that you did and for everything that you are.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me and give me the opportunity also to show who I am, what I think, and maybe what we can do.
Yes, we can do a lot, and we're gonna have an idea after this conversation. So we're gonna continue talking now after this.
Okay.
So thank you again, and I wish you a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Bye.